Welcome back, guys. G Funky Boxing. As always, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. This way you don't miss anything. If you want to get information about boxing, breakdowns, and interviews, things like that, yes, you'll get that here. That's what this channel has always been about, guys. Information, education, truth has always been what this channel is about. But I want to thank you guys for being here. I took a little bit of a break, and I put a community post out there, let you guys know that I was going to be stepping away for a while. And thank you all for being patient with me. Appreciate that. All right, I really do. Some of you even called me, and sent me some text messages, things like that. So I definitely appreciate you guys, man, for sticking around. My man Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Salute to you, man. Champ Ross, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Appreciate you stopping by, man. But with all that said, guys, I'm a little out of whack right now. Okay. I don't know what's going on here with my StreamYard. I guess my account, something happened with my account. It's like I have to use the free version right now for some reason, even though I pay StreamYard. So I'm gonna have to figure out what the hell is going on here. Also, my equipment, I'm not sure what's going on with that either. I'm getting some weird static in my headphones right now, and I don't know why, but we're gonna march on, man, because things got to be done. Okay, things need to be put out there. Tony Boswell, thanks for stopping by, man. Everything is good, man. We've had a rough patch. Just getting over COVID. Okay, guys. So still have a little bit of a cough from that, and so I'm gonna try my best to mute every time I need to do that. This way I'm not coughing in your guys' ear. But yeah, we're doing fine, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Puerto Rican Rum, what's up, man? Champ Ross as well as always. Listen, bro. Great content. Appreciate you, man. And you driving and listening, right on, man. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me right now. And look, man, we gotta address some things, okay, in this community. But one thing I want to do first, since I got static rolling in my ear for some reason, I need to check the audio. So give me 1 second. All right, sounds good. Appreciate you guys. Again, I'm a little out of sync right now. Okay, and I will open up the phone lines after I get this shit off that I need to get off. In case anybody wants to talk. But yeah, you see the title: Ytbc con men and the fanboys that follow. That's something that has ruined this community, guys. Absolutely destroyed this community. Okay. Now, I've been on here since 2010. I've seen it all, done it all. And I'll say this, man. There's always been fanboy channels and groups that click up, things like that. That's always been a part of this community. However, things have gotten much, much worse since the monetization of channels here on YouTube. Since guys figured out that they can possibly make a living doing this. That's been the biggest problem with this community recently, man. But here on this channel, I've always told you guys that this channel is not about money. This channel is not about clicks. It's not about being liked. And people who have worked with me in the past, they'll tell you that themselves. That I was never into trying to grow my channel to be some giant channel. Guys, that's not what this channel is about. That does nothing for me. Okay. I have a real life. That's what matters to me. Okay. And as far as making money in boxing goes, yes, I do work with a promoter here in my region, Northern California. Yes, I do work with fighters here in Northern California. So I make my bones that way with boxing, not here on YouTube. So I don't need to come on here and stroke the egos of the fanboys and the marks out there. That's why this channel has never it will never be big, guys. Never. Because I don't do those things. And by the way, that's an easy thing to do, man. To come on here and root myself into these fanboy and mark groups. That's something that I've never done and never will do, guys. I don't have to. I just don't have to do it. But some guys, some of these con men that are in the Ytbc, this is what they do. So when there's money involved in this thing, when your interest is clicks, when your interest is followers on social media like X, formerly known as Twitter, yeah, there's gonna be some lying involved, guys. That's what they do. They will flat out lie to you, tell you what you want to hear all the time. Whether it's about a certain fighter, whether it's about, and this is still the weirdest thing to me, whether it's about promotion, promoters, right? I still don't understand why these guys will go out on a limb and put one promoter over another. The shit is just weird to me, man. Champ Ross said, that's why we appreciate you, G Funky. Stand up, honest, straight down the middle. Call it how you see it. Hey, thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. I that's exactly what I've taken pride in doing on this channel, man. Appreciate that. But you have to find out really because there's a lot of boxing podcasts out there, guys. There's a lot of them, thousands on here that have ruined the YTBC. And that's exactly why I've disassociated myself. I used to be very proud of this community, and I used to be very proud to say that I was a part of it. But what it is today, no. I want no parts of it, man. None. So on this channel, you're going to get people in the business to come on, tell you the truth about boxing. And why and the reason why I say truth is, again, because these guys are in the business. They're not glorified fans with a camera and a microphone pretending to be a know-it-all when you're just nothing but a wannabe. Guys that have never stepped foot in a gym. Guys that have never been a part of a real training camp. They wouldn't dare do that. That's why you see a lot of these big channels. You don't see them going to the fights. You don't see them talking to people. Why? Because they will find out very quickly that they don't know shit. They will be exposed for the frauds that they are, man. That's just the truth, man. The motivation is just money, clicks, likes, followers, all that shit. These guys want to be the top podcast in the world, and they'll do anything for it. What's going on, Alberto? Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate that. And like I said before, man, clicks and views, they have never done anything for me. And I've made that clear from the very beginning of this channel. But to be quite honest with you, man, these big channels, big fanboy channels, con men channels, they're just not good enough to make it in the business, man. They're not. They'll do everything but get their ass out there and do some real reporting, do some real journalistic work. They won't do that. They'll find out right away, man. From talking to people, right? I've learned this over the last couple years since I've got on the inside. A lot of people that I've asked to come on my channel to help educate fans on what this business is all about and how it really works. They told me this, hey man, that sounds good, man. That sounds great, but I'm going to have to pass. And the reason why I'm going to have to pass is because too many times I've gone on someone's channel and they have twisted up my words, spun my words around to make up a narrative to please their fan base. And I just don't want to do it anymore. A lot of these guys don't want to do it. And that's exactly why. Because of the Ytbc. So yeah, that's what these guys do, man. They've ruined the shit for good people like myself that want to just help put information out there to the fans. They don't want to do that. They don't even want to do that. That's terrible, guys. But what are you going to do, man? It's already too big. The cancer has grown too big. I had to get a drink of water, guys. Again, just getting over COVID, but yeah. They don't trust anyone now, man. Even if they come on and give an honest answer, somehow, some way, these con men will twist the shit around and make it seem like it's something that it's not. And they don't want to do that anymore. But you always have to keep in mind that when a channel makes it very clear that they have an agenda, yeah, they're gonna clearly slant their content to that agenda. Why? Because they want to become popular with the fanboys out there. They'll do anything. And like I said, including lying to you guys. And why? Because they want your money at the bottom. At the end of the day, they want your money, guys. And I'm going to say this. These channels will love what you love and hate what you hate just to keep you coming back. Doesn't matter what the circumstance is. And there is some things going on that I'm going to tie this into. News that just came out in boxing. Right? We're seeing it happen right now in front of our eyes. If you just look at this community and some of the disgusting videos that have been made of these guys pretending to be something that they're not. In this channel here, I don't want you guys. I don't want those type of fans here. The truth always hurts, man. And it always comes to light. And that's something that a lot of boxing fans in this community hate. They hate that. They don't like the truth, man. And I got to give a shout out to some people, man. The people that I roll with, that I met here on YouTube, that have the same thoughts that I do about this community. My partner, Dave Duenas is from Leave It in the Ring. He told me this a long time ago. 4 years ago, he told me, when you put out good information, the truth about certain things, fans, they won't give a damn. Majority of fans will not give a damn. And you know what? He was right on the money with that. He was right on the money. They hate fucking truth. They want to hear fantasies. They want to hear lies, sweet little lies. That's what they want to hear, guys. You're not going to get that here. You will not like this channel if that's what you want. But some of these channels have gone beyond being a fan into being obsessed with certain fighters. And now promotional companies and promoters. That's how weird this shit has gotten. Right? The shit is it's weird, man. Weird. Yes, I will be there. I'm actually gonna help stage that event. Come to the show August 3rd, Doubletree Hotel here in Sacramento. I'll be there as well. Damn it, I should have got the flyer so I could put it up here. Next show I will. Next show will be all about that one. But yes, I will be there, Thunder Valley, September 21st. Yes, I will. But yeah, so here's the thing, man. Okay, and I'm going to tie this into some current things that are happening right now in the sport, right? We got word from a few sources out there. More importantly, Coppinger is the guy who put this out, and he's not the most reliable guy, but he's put it out there, and a few other guys, that it looks like September 14th, it's going to be Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga, right? No David Benavidez, guys. That fight, it's not happening. It will not happen, guys. That's my thoughts on it. It's not going to happen. Okay? So, with those, when that report came out, good Lord, I seen some of the most awful takes. And again, people pointing the blame at a guy. And I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. But here's the problem that I have with fanboys and marks and these con men on YouTube that talk boxing, right? Here's the problem. They'll come on and act like they're know-it-alls, experts, like they're a somebody. When again, all they are is just glorified fans. They've never done anything in boxing. But they'll come on and tell their fans, one guy's ducking, the other guy's ducking. This is why the fight's not happening. No, that's why the fight's not happening. Right? That's what they'll tell you. But here's what I've been told for many, many years here on YouTube, man. When it comes to Canelo Alvarez, right? I was told that he has earned the right to pick and choose whoever he wants to fight. All right? Now, look, you didn't have to tell me that. I already knew that. Why? I think we all know why. He's still the biggest draw in the sport, whether you like it or not. That's just That's just the truth at the end of the day. So when you're the guy that makes the most money, you generate the most money, right? Yeah, you're in that position. So if that's your if that is your narrative, that Canelo can do whatever he wants, he's earned that right, then how can you possibly say that this is David Benavidez's fault for the fight not happening? I want an answer to that. You guys, it can't be both ways. What's going on, 92 AKU? It can't be my guy's earned the right to pick and choose to fight whoever he wants. But when a fight doesn't happen with a certain guy, well, it's not Canelo's fault, it's his fault. You guys got some explaining to do, okay? A lot of explaining to do. And I've seen the con men doing backflips, jumping through rings of fire, jumping over hurdles to not say what is actually going on here. They're terrified to speak out against Canelo Alvarez. Why? Because he's got a big fan base. They've pandered to this guy's fan base so they can't lose the subscribers, man. They can't do it. And that's the sad thing about this community. Con men. These guys have said that. He can do whatever he wants. He's earned that right. They've even gone as far as to quote Floyd Mayweather, a guy who they hate. But Mayweather has recently came out and said, you know, Canelo, he's earned the right. He's earned the right to fight whoever he wants. Okay, then. Then it is solely on him as to why the fight didn't happen. I don't want to hear this bullshit about the WBC. That's what these guys are falling back on right now. He should have just made the WBC, make him the mandatory, and then they would have stripped Canelo. That's what they're saying. Guys, there's a reason the WBC has not made a mandatory for Canelo in 3 years. When was the last time Canelo had a mandatory for the WBC? I'll give you guys a few seconds to think about it. Let's see here. Alberto says Canelo is taking lower risk, higher reward path. I can see him fighting Jake Paul in the future in a mega cash fight. Floyd got to do it with Conor McGregor, so I'm not mad at it. Look, I'm not mad at it either. Am I disappointed? Yeah, because that's a fight that I've been wanting to see for a really long time. Matter of fact, ever since Canelo jumped up to 168, that was a fight I wanted to see. It was him versus David Benavidez. It got even more interesting when Canelo collected all the belts by the end of 2021 and became undisputed. I wanted to fight even more then, guys. And I was told by fans on here that Canelo Alvarez, in order to fight this guy, you got to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all these things, right? You got to earn it. You've got to earn the fight. That's what I was told back at the end of 2021. I was given a long list of things that David Benavidez had to do in order to get that fight. Okay, fast forward to July 24th, 2024, right? Benavidez has not only done all these things that these fans, these con men, wanted him to do, but he's actually done more now. He's done everything, and they continue to put up roadblocks, man. I don't think I've ever seen this before, man. Not even in the Floyd Pacquiao era when I first came into this community. I never got the sense from either fan base that they didn't want the fight to happen. Never. In this case, the fans, not all of them, the marks that are always going to be there for him, that are going to praise any little thing he does, they're always going to be there. So they don't count, man. There is casual interest in a fight with Canelo and Benavidez, guys. And why? Because there's a perception that Canelo's avoiding him and that this guy is going to beat him down. The threat, the perception of the threat is there. We didn't get that with Bivol, right? Because casuals don't know who the hell Bivol was. Only the diehards did. And most of us knew that was going to be a very tough fight for Canelo. But amongst the casuals, there was no perception of Bivol being that guy to beat Canelo. We got that here with Benavidez. Who else did we have that with in Canelo's career? Triple G, right? And yes, we're going to talk about this too. Thanks for bringing that up. But the last time the WBC tried to force Canelo to fight his mandatory was when? Right here. Triple G, right? And when was that? Like 2014 or something like that? I can't remember. But it was right after Canelo fought Miguel Cotto for the WBC middleweight title. And guess who was the mandatory? Gennady Golovkin. So Mauricio decided to make him the mandatory for Canelo Alvarez, right? And what happened, guys? Tell me what happened. Somebody in the chat. What happened back then? What did Canelo do when that mandate came up? And it was Triple G. I'll give you guys a second while I get some water. I'll wait and see. That's not what happened. We know the sanctioning bodies are definitely. But what happened? What did Canelo do? I guess nobody wants to answer. And that's fine, guys. That's all right. I'll tell you. Canelo took that belt and threw it in the trash, guys. He said, take that belt and shove it up your ass. How about that? That's what he did. Right? I'm not making this up. This is what he did. So why do you think the WBC has done all these things for someone like Canelo ever since then, right? Shortly after that, what happened? He became the franchise champion after he won the belt from well, no, he had that belt already, but they made him the very first franchise title champion, whatever you want to call it. They haven't forced him to fight a mandatory since 2021, and that was Yildirim. Yeah, they're walking on eggshells with this guy, okay? So for the con men and the fanboys that regurgitate what these guys say, that mandatory is worth nothing, guys. Let's not act like the only way that this fight could happen is if the WBC mandates it. That is complete bullshit, and they know it. The problem is they don't want to say it because they don't want to lose subscribers. They don't want to lose followers. They don't want the clicks to go down. So they'll find a way to point the finger at the other guy when all along you said, this guy has earned the right. They're full of shit. Right? So here's the long list of things that needed to happen, right? When Canelo was rumored to move up to cruiserweight and fight Makabu the Great. You guys remember that? Remember that guy? Yep. They all do it. Not just him. They all do it. But he dropped their title in the past. So that's why they're walking on eggshells with him. Random YouTube channel is one thing, but Canelo's losing favor with the media and fans. He's got money, man. He doesn't care, I don't think, anymore. He doesn't care about pleasing the fans. And again, his fans will always be there. His loyal fans will always be there for him. That's why he's been able to consistently do anywhere from 400,000 to 500,000 pay-per-view buys when he's fighting guys that have, their names have no sizzle, right? It's been a long time since somebody hit me up and said, hey, man, who's Canelo fighting? It's been years since that happened. But anyway, when he was rumored to fight this Makabu guy, and I was on a panel with other fans, and they were all for it. They were like, fuck yeah, I love this fight. Let's do it, right? This is a dangerous fight for Canelo, even though this guy went on to lose the 40-year-old Badu Jack, right? And the first thing I told these guys was like, look, this dude is not any good, man. Just look at film, right? If you know what you're looking at, this guy is not good. If there was a minor league for boxing, this guy would be in the minor leagues. I don't give a fuck what weight he's at. He's not good, okay? And that was proven. So I said, no, I don't want to see him fight this guy. I'd rather see him fight David Benavidez. Guys, this was almost 3 years ago that this conversation happened. And I was told at the time, well, Benavidez, he hasn't done shit with his career, right? And he's undisciplined. And that was something that these guys were hanging on to for years. They were bringing this up as late as late last year, that, oh, he missed weight. That was 2020, guys. Very first fight in the bubble. The guy missed weight. Hasn't missed weight since. So, again, that's one thing, right? Prove them wrong with that. Another thing, he needs to fight these other guys. He's fought nobody. You got to earn it, right? Okay. Excuse me for 1 second. He's got to earn it. Fight these other guys, right? Well, that's what he's been doing, okay? Last year, he fought Caleb Plant, destroyed him. He fought Demetrius Andre, destroyed him. Checking off the list again. That's three things now, right? Or is it two? I can't remember. But he does it. And these guys still find a way to complain, right? When he fought Caleb Plant, why can't he fight Morrell? And that's another thing. The funny thing about these marks and these fanboys of Canelo is that now all of a sudden David Morrell is their second favorite fighter. And you know why? Because they want him to fight Benavidez because he's a tough fight for Benavidez. They want that fight. And they'll be celebrating, acting like it's a win for Canelo if they do fight and Morrell happens to beat him. It's the weirdest shit, man. Another roadblock right there. Fight Morrell instead of Caleb Plant, right? Because Caleb Plant, I mean, what's he done? He's done nothing, right? All these excuses, man. If it's not one thing, it's another. Roadblock after roadblock. What else is next on the list, right? He shows him that he can make weight. He fights the other guys in the division and beats them. What's the next thing? Oh man, this guy, man. You know, the only reason he's winning these fights is because he's big. He's a weight bully. Guy needs to move up. Well, where did David fight his last fight at? Oh, that's right. Light heavyweight. And guess what? Yeah. Shut the guy out. Again, check it off the list. And these are things that they just, again, adding, right? So we went from earn it to what now? What does it take now to get a Canelo fight? Because the last two guys that he has fought, hard to justify, okay? With this long ass list that you put on David Benavidez. And again, this is not a knock on Canelo. This is his fans. They're the ones that created this bullshit. And when the shit gets done, yeah, now look at him. But I guess earning the fight, that's something that you don't have to do anymore. Now, these guys made it as the reason why he got the Canelo fight in Munguia, that is because he fought John Ryder and knocked him out, right? And that's a good win for Munguia. He looked fantastic. But that's not the reason. The real reason he fought Jaime Munguia is because, yeah, Munguia has got a good following, right? And Alberto here makes a good point where he said Munguia's numbers were underwhelming. Does that signal that the Mexicans are slowly starting to get over him? Possibly. I think so. I think there is a certain, not the marks or the fanboys. They're always going to be there, right? That 400 to 500K, that's always going to be there. That's a loyal following that he has. They'll buy anything. As long as his name's attached to it, they'll buy it. But yeah, I think that is an indication that the market is starting to say, you know what? This guy's not giving us a fight that we want. But yeah, they figured that Munguia's following would help boost some numbers. I think a lot of them probably didn't purchase the fight because they felt like Munguia might not be ready. But now we got reports, and it's going to be leaked probably sometime tomorrow, if not late today. But it's already getting late today, so I think most likely tomorrow we might hear an official announcement from Canelo and Berlanga that the fight is official. So what we had here going into the fall now is reports of Chris Eubank Jr. and Edgar Berlanga. Two guys who have done absolutely nothing, according to the fans, right? They've done absolutely nothing to earn the fight. Yet these same individuals are jumping for joy for these fights. But the reason, now let me read this comment real quick. How did Berlanga earn a Canelo fight? And whoever's paying him $30 million to fight him is a financial bloodbath. No way it does 500 to 600 buys. That's it. From what I've been hearing, it's going to be a co-promotion with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom and PBC. So, yeah, here's the thing, right? Eubank, the reason that fight was even rumored and possible, and they were in negotiations with him, was because Eubank is a big star over in the UK. From what I've been told, him and Conor Ben are right behind guys like Joshua and Fury as far as popularity goes in the UK. So you got a guy who's a legit ticket seller in the UK, Eubank Jr. You got a guy who's the biggest draw in the sport It makes sense, right? Well, the problem is Eubank priced himself out. That was reported from Ben Shalom of Boxer when he said that, they couldn't give him the number that he wanted. Yeah, it's a price out, guys. But that fight was most likely going to happen because it could generate enough money, ticket sales, pay-per-view in UK and here to get Canelo that 30 million plus guarantee that he's used to getting. Now, as far as this fight goes, look, I have my doubts. I don't think it does well. And the reason I think that way is because I think most people don't think Berlanga has a fucking chance in the fight. Now, some people that believe that it is going to be a financial success. And like I said, I don't think so, but we'll see. You guys know I hope for the best when it comes to boxing. Okay, will I be purchasing the fight? Yes, I will. Okay, you guys don't have to purchase it. I always try to encourage you guys to try to support it, but if you can't, completely understand. But how did Berlanga earn the fight? Like Alberto asked. That's something that these guys are going to have to explain, man. And I was listening to some shows today where guys were calling in, and yeah, the fanboys and the marks, they're happy as a sissy in a dick tree for this fight. And blaming Benavidez for the fight not happening, which is, it's just outrageous to me, man. How one guy has earned the right, but then in the next breath, it's his fault. The WBC, he should force them. Yeah, that doesn't mean nothing. They're not going to do it. Let's see here, G-Funk. I'm not buying the Canelo fight unless they load up the undercard. But Canelo's purse is too high to allow that. He is also going against the UFC Noche Mexican Independence card at this. Yeah, I heard that. Look, first off, fuck the UFC, okay? I don't watch the UFC, so I don't even know. I know that they have they're staging an event that same day in Vegas. That's all I know. I don't know any of the fighters on there. I don't watch the UFC. But you're right, because Canelo is going to be earning $30+ million for this fight. Yeah, it's going to be hard to make a good undercard. And most guys that are trying to build a brand, yeah, they don't want to fight on someone's undercard, man. That's another thing that you guys have to understand. Most of these guys, now we see it occasionally, right? But most of the time, guys that feel like they should be headlining instead of being a co-feature, that's what happens, man. I do too, man. But I just, it's very clear at this point in his career, he doesn't want to do that, let's just look at what he's done since he became undisputed, right? I believe his first fight was Bivol, right? Let me check. But I believe that was his first fight after he beat Caleb Plant. And yes, Dimitri Bivol, right? So after he wins all the belts in the division, he fights at 175. Loses there badly. Comes back down, fights Golovkin in a third fight, which I feel should have happened a long time ago. But I feel like Triple G was on a fight there because I felt like he won those two fights. But was that a fight that people were interested in? No. And the numbers didn't do very well. Just like the numbers didn't do well with Bivol because, again, casuals don't know these guys. They know Golovkin, but they know he's old at this point, 40 years old. John Ryder after that. Nobody knows this fucking guy. Okay? This is not big business. Jermell Charlo from 154 pounds. No threat. No perception of a threat with this guy because he's moving up in weight. And then Jaime Munguia. That guy's not exactly setting the world on fire here, okay? So it's been very clear, man, for at least 2 years now that he's not interested in taking any kind of tough fight, even in between some of these soft touches, like John Ryder, Charlo, an old Golovkin. 92 AQ says, "Hell no, I can't, but refuse to pay to buy trash pay-per-views just out of principle." And I'm a Canelo man. That's tough, man. But I understand. I do understand. Canelo's losing his Mexican independence date to the UFC. They're putting a way better card than Canelo. Are they? Again, I don't know anything about the UFC. And when I say that, I mean I don't know any of the fighters. It's been a long time since I actually followed the UFC and anything that they've done. So yeah, I don't know anything about that. Sorry guys, I had to get another drink of water. Like I said, just getting over COVID, so I don't want to be coughing out you guys' ears. Um but I can stay on here for another 15, 20 minutes. If anybody wants to call in, I feel like I've gotten everything off my chest today. But yeah, guys, you got to be careful with what you hear and what you see here on YouTube, because there's a lot of con men out there, a lot of them, and they just love to point the finger, right? What about this? What about that? Stop deflecting, man, and just talk about what's at hand here. And that's, again, Canelo fighting. And oh, here's another thing I want to mention before I go on, right? And open up the phone lines here. But about a year ago or so, maybe a little bit more than a year, Samson came out and said that, you know, the fight with Benavidez is not going to happen, right? Canelo turned down an offer from the PBC. So fight's not happening right now. This was prior to, maybe about a month or so prior to Canelo signing with the PBC, a 3-fight deal. Now, I came on there and I said, look, I have a feeling that he's going to fight Berlanga next, right? And this was last year around this time. Keep this in mind, guys, okay? Now, I said that because I heard from a source on the inside that said, someone that works with Matchroom, I was told that if Canelo re-ups with Matchroom, that's the fight they're going to make. Edgar Berlanga. Right? I put that out there on that stream. Now, Canelo changed his mind. He didn't re-sign with Matchroom, and he made a 3-fight deal with the PBC. So this fight with Berlanga, again, co-promotion, PBC, the Zone. This is the last deal, last fight of that deal. But when I said that last year, guys got upset. People said that I was creating a narrative that Canelo was going to fight Edgar Berlanga, right? They got pissed. And they said, Canelo will never fight Berlanga. Never. He always gives us the fights that we want. Berlanga, that will never happen. Well, guys, looks like we're at the goal line with that. Again, this is why you can't listen to con men, all right? I got that from the inside, guys. Okay? But these guys will act like, yeah, he'll never do that. Never. Well, who else is he going to fight there? Just think about it. Let's rewind time, right? Let's say he never makes a deal with the PBC last year and he goes back with Matchroom. Who is he going to fight over there? Who? Tell me who he would fight over there. It only makes sense. Another thing another roadblock that I forgot to mention. Fans were saying that Benavidez has to fight Canelo on DAZN. It has to be on DAZN. Oh my gosh. And then they used my material when I interviewed Samson in person last April. And look, I got a bunch of credit from these guys who, I don't want to say that they don't like me. I know they don't like the things that I say. That's for sure. But again, this channel has always been about the truth. And a lot of people don't like the truth. But when I interviewed Samson in person, I asked him that question. A lot of people used my material out there, right? Some of them gave me credit for it. Some of them didn't. But I asked him straight up. I said, would you be willing to fight Canelo on DAZN if that's where he's going to be at, right? And a bunch of guys were like, yeah, man, that's a great question. A lot of people in the media would never ask a question like that. And look, I just want to see the damn fight. So I was asking him what needs to happen, and what are you guys willing to do to make it happen, right? Now, when I asked him that question, I don't know if you guys haven't seen the video. It's here on my channel. But I asked him, I said, would you be willing to go to DAZN to fight Canelo? Right? And he said, the first thing he said was no. And the reason why he said no, right? And see, guys will take that clip and chop it and cut it right there when he said no. They won't listen to the rest of what he said, right? What he went on to say was no, because Canelo will be, his contract with Matchroom, DAZN, will be up. And if he wants to make good money for the rest of this year and early next year, he has to come to PBC because that's where all the big fights are for him right now. And those guys, again, the con men conveniently left that out when they used my shit. And why? Because they're the ones creating fucking narratives, not me. The con men, they're the ones that do it, not me. Again, guys, the truth will never be popular, okay? Never. Why do you think I was the one, right, on this channel, when I got information that wasn't released by major boxing platforms about the Antonio Margarito case with the hand wraps? I put it on my channel. I got the guys that covered the shit to come on and talk about it, right? Guys like my boy 97 Ruff from Leaving in the Ring, and a guy he used to work with, Gabe Montoya. They both covered that thing. They both had a lot of information that wasn't released about Margarito. And I put it here on this channel, and knowing that fans were going to be like, oh, this is bullshit, G-Funky. How could you give a guy like Margarito, this cheater, blah, blah, all this shit, right? I don't give a fuck, okay? I don't care about being popular, guys. This is what I'm trying to explain to you here, okay? I put out information that wasn't released. What's going on, Fight Doctor? Appreciate you being here, man. But I was willing to put that shit on my channel. Again, Fans, a lot of them, it didn't change their mind, and I didn't expect it to. And like my partner 97 Rough said, most fans aren't interested in the truth, man. Who was the one that went out and got a glove expert to come on their channel and combat that bullshit about Glovegate? How many fucking channels did you guys see do that? Right? How many? Me. I'm one of the few that actually did it. And I lost a lot of support because of that. And you know why? I'll tell you why. Because when I first came back to this community, I took a long break. But when I first came back in 2019, right? I was doing shows with guys, and a couple of them were either in the LDBC or associated with the LDBC, right? Now, at the time, these guys, right, we did shows for, once, twice a week. A lot of their subscribers came over, subscribed to me because I was doing shows with these guys. And we all know that those guys were completely on board with Glovegate. But I was not going to get on the train. I was not going to get on that shit with them. So, yeah, when I started speaking out against it, bringing on experts, right? Guess what happened? They booked it. And you know what? Good fucking riddance, man. Because I don't want fucking fanboys here. I don't want them here. I want fans that are interested in the truth to come here. Fans that want to be educated by real people in the boxing business, not listening to glorified fans with a camera and a mic. That's what I want here. And that's what this channel has been about for a really, really long time, guys. Now, I know I said I would open up the phone lines, man, and I apologize. I am not going to have time to do that. And my voice, my throat is kind of messed up. And again, I told you guys I'm just getting over COVID. So what I'll do is I'll read some of these comments here before I wrap it up, guys. And I do appreciate you guys for sticking around, sticking with me. I know I was gone for almost a month or so, a little over a month. So I appreciate you guys sticking it out with me, man. Let's see. Alberto here says Turkey is sponsoring Noche UFC card. Turkey putting $20 million. Yeah, he's putting in a lot of money. And not only in the UFC but in the boxing. So we'll see if it works out for him, man. I hope it does. But we've seen a lot of investors come and go over the last 15 years or so in boxing. Guys with a lot of money, right? See, I agree. Fuck MMA, but casuals will definitely be tuning into that card that date. The interest will be on the UFC that night, unfortunately. Yeah, well, it is what it is, man. Let's see. 92 UC. UFC is a fighting organization that all puts on pay-per-views with it made Canelo wait for 45 minutes in the locker. Oh yeah, I remember that with the Diaz Mazadov, yeah, against Kovalev. Yeah, that was sad, wasn't it? That was sad, guys, to see. That's the problem. I am a fan of the sport of boxing now. Yeah, so am I, man. So am I. Yeah, man. I mean, it's been what? About, let me see. Sunday was 14 days, so 15. Yeah. So I'm pretty much past it. It's just I still have this stupid little cough that just won't go away, but that's pretty typical of any cold, any kind of virus you get. That's always the last thing that goes is a stupid cough. But I appreciate you, man. Thanks. Fight doctor. Let's see. Alberto says there is a bad COVID variant going around. Yes, there is. It's in all of California right now. And yeah, unfortunately I got it. That was my first time getting it. and unfortunately, it spread through the house. My 2-year-old got it, my wife got it, my oldest daughter got it, and she's the one who I was really trying to protect from COVID. But the fortunate thing is, again, there's always that silver lining, right? When things like this happen. Um, she got over it quick, man. She handled it pretty good, man. Thank you, God. You know, thank you for helping us get over that, man. You had it a few weeks ago. Yeah, it's terrible, man. I had really bad muscle aches and chills for about 3 days, man. And that was, to me, that's like the worst part, man. I hate that feeling. Just, you try to get warm and you're cold and then your body's all achy and like, oh man, it's the worst feeling, man. But I'm glad it's over with, man. Had my first dance with COVID, so yeah. Um, but anyways, yeah. Next show I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna be talking about the event that we're gonna have here in Sacramento. Uppercut Promotions. Blake McKiernan making his return in the cruiserweight division. He is the headliner for our show. And yeah, I'm gonna see maybe I can get one of the fighters to come on and talk a little bit. And yeah, you guys in Sacramento, you Sacramento subscribers, Northern California region subscribers, if you're looking to see a good fight, man, Sacramento, Doubletree Hotel, August 3rd, man. If you want tickets, let me know. All right, I can get them. I can shoot you a link, whatever you need, man. It's gonna be a good show, man. Kamikaze, man, he says I'm an hour late, but wanted to stop by and say what's good to the boss. Hope all, yeah, man. Thank you, man. Everything's good, man. Like I said, I had to take a little bit of a break because things going on in my life that needed my attention. That's never gonna go away, guys. You know, but definitely needed to walk away from YouTube for a little bit. Hey, yeah, I heard it was a good turnout, man. I did get credentialed to that event. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go because again, we're all just getting over COVID, and I didn't want to leave my wife with the kids while I'm over in Stockton for about 4 or 5 hours. I wanted to go really, really bad, man. But I seen it looked like it was a really good turnout from some of the videos that were sent to me from people there. And that's great, man. Gabe Flores, he's a ticket seller, man, here in this region in his hometown, Stockton. So yeah, continue to support those events, guys. That if you're in this region, if you want more shows, yeah, the support is needed, guys. Okay. So that's all I wanted to say, man. Maybe I might come on tomorrow, talk a little bit about something else. But I have a feeling there's going to be some people that are going to get their feathers ruffled when they hear this. And look, that's always going to happen, man. Again, when you don't give a shit about the clicks and the views, and you come on and you just speak the truth, yeah, these con men, they don't like it, man. And they're fanboys that regurgitate that nonsense, yeah, they're the same. So thank you guys for coming, stopping by. Make sure you hit the like button for me if you haven't done that already. I know that there's a lot of hate watchers out there that just love to hear what I got to say and screen record it and send it around to people, and that's perfectly fine. Continue that, but I know those guys don't like to hit the like. But for all you honest guys there in the chat, make sure you hit the like, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good day. I'm out.